Hello, everyone, and welcome to our beautiful session, Awakening Within Yoga Wisdom for Life's Deepest Questions. I'm so happy to welcome you, everyone, here to this meeting with two of our most senior teachers of the Shishi School of Yoga. I would like to first mention that we have translation in few languages, Bulgarian, Croatian, Italian, Polish, and Russian, and Spanish. And you can choose the translation from the globe in the menu. So you can just choose your respective language, the one you need. And with this, I think we are ready to start and introduce our beautiful speakers today. I'm so happy to introduce Kamlesh Barwal and Mayur Karthik. I would say just a few words about them, maybe first about Kamlesh and then about Mayur. Kamlesh Barwal, nice to see you after so long. It's been a while, but my heart feels so close to you as always. Kamlesh is one of our most respected senior teachers of the art of living and the Shrishi School of Yoga. With more than 2 decades of teaching experience, she has trained thousands of yoga teachers across the globe, and she's known for her graceful asana practice and her ability to make profound yogic wisdom simple and practical. Kamlesh is very beautifully combining yoga, meditation, breathwork, and philosophy with warmth and humor, and you will see that in a minute. She's always authentic, and we're so happy to have you in our session today.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much for such a beautiful, wonderful, and a very warm introduction. Namaste, everybody. Jai Gurudev. Good evening to all of you, and thank you for joining us. Let us have a good session this evening.
Yes, it will be wonderful. And I would like to also introduce Mayur before we continue with the questions. We have some questions prepared for you both. Mayur, so happy to see you. It's also been a long time, but yes, it's always nice to meet you. Mayur is also very, very senior teacher of the art of living and lead trainer at the Shishi School of Yoga. Since 2012, he has been teaching yoga, meditation, and Sudarshan Kriya while training yoga teachers around the world. Also, he has visited us in Europe a few years ago. 2023, I think, was the last time we met you here. A
2024,
certified 2024. Okay,
October to November.
yes, my mistake. You're a certified yoga teacher, evaluator, and award-winning filmmaker. Mayur is known for blending traditional yogic wisdom with creativity, storytelling, and modern approach that makes yoga accessible and relevant to today's world. I'm also very fond of the way you present and give us nice tips on the social media channels. I always look at them, and you're very inspiring for us with your fitness journey.
Thank you so much, Sarah, and Jai Gurudev, everyone. So glad to be here. And I have one more perk of being here is, of course, I'm with all of you this evening, and I have my mentor, Kamlesh Didi, who is here with me. So it gives me so much pride and pleasure to share this stage with her. So glad and humbled. Thank you so much.
So, shall we start with the questions? Are you ready? Yes. Today's topic is very, very interesting because, as you know, we all meet obstacles on our path when we decide to grow spiritually. That is something that is really sometimes very easy and nice, sometimes a bit tricky and full of some difficulties. So, what would you suggest as what would you share as your experience to overcome these obstacles on the path, having in mind our Gurudev's knowledge and yeah, how do you how do you manage obstacles on the path?
Mayur, would you like to say first?
Didi, after you.
I'm so happy to be on this conversation with Mayur. Mayur is one of my favorite yoga trainers. And I think, all of us on this journey have learned so much from each other. Sometimes we learn from our mentors and teachers, sometimes we learn from our students. And I have realized we learn much more from our students than we learn from our teachers. And Mayur has been one such student that I constantly seek and take inspiration from. Even now, when I follow him and his conversations online, when I see, I get very inspired by the way he lives the wisdom of yoga, and then it also fills you with so much hope for, this knowledge when younger generation is so willingly and with authenticity and with so much reverence for the wisdom, they are preserving it and also presenting it in the form that it should always be. As a trainer, then as a teacher or trainer or mentor, you feel so proud of that. And that's not just Mayur. Now that I'm looking at all the people on this Zoom call today, my heart fills with joy to see so many of you here whom I have met, say 20 years back, 15 years back. We've all shared so many retreats together, courses together. If I start naming, I'll just spend the whole evening calling out your names and sharing my love with you. So I'm so happy. Thank you all for joining. I'm looking at all your faces and it just fills me with immense joy to reconnect with all of you. Now, the topic, obstacles. I always tell people that the very wisdom of yoga, for me, when I have read some scriptures and when I have spoken to some people about various other sources of this knowledge, Bhagavad Gita always stays the closest for me. And why it enchants me the most is always because the circumstances where the yoga got born. You know? So when we are living in a mountain, Himalayan cave, it's very easy to be a yogi, it's only when you are living in a day-to-day maddening world of achievements, seeking validations, chasing after certain idea of success. It's only then if you are able to, in the whole day, even have this moment of silence, moment of internalization, moment of stepping back and re-evaluating your life and asking yourself, am I stuck somewhere? Am I not going the right path? Is there something that I need to do differently? If you get even slightest of that, awareness in the whole day, when you are in this entire world of rush, then that makes you a real seeker. That makes you a yogi. Why Bhagavad Gita is closest to me as a yogic text is just because the very context and the very setting of where that wisdom was born. So the biggest and the deepest wisdom of yoga was born in a battlefield. The most profound knowledge came or was given or to Arjuna by Lord Krishna when there was right in the center of a world war. So that for any yoga person, yoga teacher, yoga enthusiast, or a seeker, a person on the path, or not even on the path, even people who are generally struggling in their life and they have not understood yet that there can be something higher to life than just, waking up in the morning and getting ready for office, eating food and, coming home and sleeping. Even for them, this is the greatest awakening. What? Even in the middle of crisis, you can find peace. You can find silence. You can have the biggest and the highest wisdom. That is what Bhagavad Gita teaches. So, always whenever people come and tell me that, I'm feeling this obstacle on the path, that obstacle, I just always tell them, this is an opportunity for you to turn it, into wisdom. It's not that, every time when we face an obstacle, it's not the sign that, you are on a wrong path or you are not doing things right. That's how our mind works. Whenever we feel challenged on the path, we start doubting. And the first doubt is always on the self. We start doubting ourselves immediately. Am I doing it right? Am I on the right path? Am I even, meant for this? And then, of course, Gurudev has spoken about so many other doubts. But having an obstacle on the path is not a sign that you are on a wrong path. I always feel an obstacle is like this very basic kind of a friction that is required to build a spiritual muscle in you, And since Mayur is on the chat, I'm using this word because he's a bodybuilder. So that little bit of obstacles that we face, they are required so that we can build that, that spiritual muscle, that yogi muscle in us. Otherwise, we will feel stagnant. So every time we face any kind of obstacle, that can be, basic obstacles like a lazy body or a lazy mind. I don't want to go into, details of explaining different types of obstacles, but I'm saying whatever it is, what is important is one, identifying. So that makes you special. The moment you are able to identify that, yes, there is an obstacle, because for so many of us, we don't even realize it. So the most important thing is that you identified it. The moment you identify it, that's when you will start working on it. Working on it means you just you train yourself to step up. So every obstacle is just pushing you towards a better perfection, mental, spiritual, worldly perfection. So that's how I see obstacles. And in my whole entire life of teaching, training, learning yoga, and yeah, especially for people like us, and I can see so many of Art of Living teachers here, lot of yoga teachers on this group right now. When spirituality becomes a profession, that's the paradox we all live in. For general people, spirituality is that little escape from the daily madness. But for us, spirituality has become a profession as well. We're either teaching yoga or hosting retreats or seminars. We are running centers as I'm doing right now. So, the biggest trap that we all get into is when our professional duties as yoga trainers, yoga teachers, or center managers, it starts to cannibalize into our, personal need and personal requirement of silence. That is where the biggest challenge comes. But then again, realizing that this is my sign to build more muscle, build more grit. Things will just show up. Path just open up. That's how it has been always for me. Whenever I have faced a challenge, what I have seen is I overcome it and become a different person. We just become different people. I don't recognize myself how I was like 20 years back. I'm just a different person. How did that happen? Not by, not having challenges. Also, we so many times mix the external circumstances as challenges with our internal environment as challenges. The circumstances outside is one, and then our ability to deal with those circumstances or our ability to maintain our center, our ability to come quickly back to a calm, peaceful state, these are two different things. So that recognition is also important. What do you say, Mayur?
Absolutely, Didi. It was such a pleasure to listen to you first. I always learn so much. Every time I sit in your sessions, I learn something new. Right. And you brought this beautiful perspective of God. Gurudev always says, recognizing the problem is half the battle won. Right. Then the rest 50%, of course, there is always grace and awareness. And like how you mentioned Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna always tells, who is my favorite dearest is a yogi. Right? Who is a yogi? Yogi is one who puts effort to remove those clouds, the black clouds that are covering the sun, so that the sun can shine through. Such a person is a yogi. So we are all yogis here, right? So Gurudev has taught us to put effort. Doesn't matter what the results are, right? We keep putting effort. So that's a beautiful thing. I still remember how Gurudev starts Narada Bhakti Sutras.
Yeah.
He says, the world is designed in such a way that you don't get satisfied. If you get satisfied with just simple material things, then we will just end up being here. Right? If the core of anything is not love, then it's very unfortunate. And what Narada Maharishi called love is what ancient rishis, saints call it as yoga. Yes, the union is love. Yes, the whole world is designed in such a way that we turn inwards. We realize that we are love. So obstacles are part of the design of this universe. So every time an obstacle comes, what we do? Yes, I have something new to learn from. Right? Because until we learn, simple example, you're going on the car, especially people are driving all over, and you get irritated every time somebody breaks a traffic rule. But if you learn, okay, this is the thing I need to be calm about. So next time when somebody does it, then you don't lose your cool. But until then, we'll keep losing the cool because nature is presenting ourselves with that something that we need to work on. with that something that we need to become better at, right? So obstacles are like that, it's a reminder for us to, oh, this is your button. I still remember, Gurudev said beautifully in one of the satsang, we keep coming back to this human birth because somewhere deep down we feel that, something is not okay. It could have been a little better, little something, right? So those are those little obstacles that have been, the divine has put on our path for us to learn, look at, right? So every time obstacle comes, we don't have to worry about it. Just say, yes, I have something to learn from this, right? And even that's what Yoga Sutras say, that the purpose of yoga is heyam dukkam anagatam, means to stop the misery even before it arises. Now, like how Didi was mentioning, when external things don't work, we have no control over it. Suddenly a dog might come running and it might bite you. You have no control over it, right? But how we handle the situation, how we keep our calm, and how we react, that is in our control. And that is what yoga is about, right? But in this journey of handling the obstacles, we can get into two traps. One is self-pity, or you can become too hard on yourself, both extremes, right? So we get into the trap of, oh, I'm such a good person, things are not working around, people are not good to me. So that spirals us down, then you can't come out of it. Or we are being too hard on yourself for every small little thing. Then that also puts us in the extreme. Self-blame comes in, guilt comes in. So the real challenge, the skill here, like how Lord Krishna says, right? Middle path. Right? Yoga karmasu kaushalam. Going in between, not feeling the pressure of self-pity or blaming yourself, but learning from that and keep moving on. Right? So that is very important when we handle obstacles, right? So Gurudev says, right, three things are important to be happy, right? Passion, dispassion. See, without passion, you cannot do anything. So you need passion, right? So with passion, you can put all your effort. Even to overcome an obstacle, you need passion. Oh, these are my things I need to work on. So you need passion. We don't give up. But at the same time, we need to know when to let go also, right? Passion without dispassion makes us feverish, right? But only dispassion, then we are not able to reach anything. So you need to have both passion and dispassion. But without compassion, compassion helps us to see ourselves in somebody else's shoes. Right? When we see that, we say, oh, okay, this is situation. So let me see how I can handle it. I can help the person. So that bridges the gap between passion and dispassion. Right? So I want to tell this small story. Once we were with Gurudev, and somebody asked this question because somebody had taken a small project and they failed at it. So this person asked Gurudev, you are all knowing. So you could have easily with your intuition known that this person is going to fail at this project. But why did you give it to him in the first place if you knew that he is going to fail at it? Gurudev kept quiet for a moment and he smiled and he said, yes, I knew. But as a guru, it is my responsibility to give them a chance so that they can learn how to fight the problems and win over it. Right? So that is what a guru's compassion is. Even though he knows that, sometimes it's beyond our capacity, but you never know, because that brings us faith. And with faith, what in yoga we call as the pranidhana, a beautiful state of surrender comes in. The higher power is taking care of me. So I can, even though I may not be equipped to handle it, but with the grace, with the faith, that gives you so much of power, so much of strength to achieve anything. And in the path, all failures is nothing but, like how we say, it's a step to success. And what is success? Success is in spirituality, is to keep a smile even when things are not going all right. And that is what Gurudev is training us for, right? And that's a sign of a yogi. If at all there is an identity card for art of living, that's like how we have license, how we have all the cards. Smile is the beautiful thing. Let's see how many of you here are smiling. Okay. Is there any unsmiling face? So we can spotlight them. Sarah, if anybody is not smiling, let's spotlight them. Right? So every time, next time, you feel some obstacle is coming, great. So something to learn from. And if you start looking at it like that, then obstacles become just challenges, right? So over to you, Didi.
Very beautifully said. I got reminded of uh, last year, I think Gurudev, in one of the satsangs, he was mentioning this, what Mayur Bhaiya just told. He said, when, they are, when we are building a home or a small shed, so this mason, he will dig up a hole, and whatever the iron pillar on which the structure is going to stand, when he puts it in, and then just puts the masonry around it, what does he do? He first just tries to shake it and see if it is strong enough. He said that is how a guru's role is in your life. He'll shake you and check your strength. So every time we feel shaken up in life, it's nothing but an opportunity to become more stronger, to fix ourselves better into the ground, to ground ourselves. So, and if we don't have these obstacles, we'll never be able to know what more and what better qualities are there hidden inside of us that can surface. Only in situations which we feel are not in our control, we can recognize our inner strength. When things are going just fine, how would we know? For example, a girl like me, born up in a very sweet little home, brought up in a very pampered way. And I look at, my cousins and my other friends, and I look at myself today. There's so much of a difference between how I see the world and how they see the world, how I see challenges and how they see challenges. And in these 25 years that I have traveled as an art of living teacher, I have been faced with endless number of challenges. And every time I thought now is the time for me to just sit down and, enjoy the fruit of whatever seva I have done in past few years, I realized there is another new challenge waiting for me to be taken care of with bigger obstacles to handle. And when I overcome that, I'm a different person again. So that's how we get polished on this path. And especially all of us are, so fortunate. We have a living master amongst us. It's just the energy and presence of a master that life will never be so stagnant that our growth stops. He will not let our growth stop. That is the beauty of being around a master. You know, his mere presence is there to just keep us growing, keep us becoming better, not at handling the world outside, but being able to maintain that smile that Mayur said. No matter what happens in the world outside, I am inside stable and smiling. That's what happens when we have a master in our life. He says, no, Gurudev always says, so whenever there is a river flowing, and if there is a big boulder or a rock, river doesn't, decide to go back, turn around and say, no, I don't want to flow anymore. It just turns itself into a beautiful waterfall for people to enjoy, or find a different route around the rock and turn the entire landscape into more beauty. That is the role of obstacles in a sadhak's life. In a seeker's life, obstacles are there only so that we can make situation more beautiful, not just overcome it by mere grit and skill, but we turn that situation beautiful. That is the sign of a sadhak. Yeah, Sarah?
Yes, oh my goodness, you shared so much beautiful words. I cannot even comprehend everything you said. I'm so like I'm speechless at this moment. It was really, really beautiful and deep what you shared about the obstacles, and I really, through my experience since 2018 on this path, I really 100% support every word you said. It's been also my experience. But now I wanted to ask you something else.
Sarah, before you ask, I'm sorry, can I
Yes,
interrupt?
Yes.
I'm a very talkative yoga teacher. You should never bring me on any Zoom sessions like that. I don't let other people speak. No, I I was just looking at everybody's faces, and then I realized that yeah, all this knowledge and wisdom sounds very beautiful and fine, but then now when we are faced with these obstacles, what should be done? That should be the next question, है ना? So whenever there we have identified an obstacle in our life. See, first we don't even know there are obstacles. Now we have identified obstacles. Now what to do? Please tell Mayur Bhaiya.
You know, I remember this beautiful incident that happened. We were walking with Gurudev once, and I'm sure many of you have been to the Bangalore ashram. Bangalore ashram has a lot of sandalwood trees, right? So, but the quality of sandalwood tree is you don't smell the sandal just like that. So Gurudev was walking and he suddenly just looked at the sandalwood trees and said, "Oh, the ashram has a lot of sandalwood trees. They're like our teachers." He said, they have so much of fragrance inside, but you will have to take the sandalwood and keep rubbing. The more harder you rub, the more fragrance comes out of it. And that's the journey of a teacher, to go through the churn. So Gurudev has given so many ways to do it. He says only two things you need to do: soham or so what. Right? So Sudarshan Kriya. So I still remember, this person got up in the satsang and was saying, Gurudev, I've been doing my Kriya regularly, but still, I since problems come, it disturbs me. So Gurudev said, like, I have given you two mantras and you're following only one. Soham and so what? Right? So dispassion is something so beautiful, Kasya sukam na viroti viragaha, karoti viragaha. Adi Shankaracharya ji says, like, what joy can dispassion not give you? Right? We think often, oh, if I move away dispassion, I'm thinking I'm going to lose out on something. No, most of the time, the pain is, too much passion, and we associate with that. Right? We keep on putting effort, effort, effort. So, uh, of course, Yoga Sutra says, two things you need, abhyas and vairagya, practice. But practice without dispassion, again, it's only half the race done. Right? So whatever works for you, Gurudev has given so much, right? So much wisdom. Sometimes sitting in satsang can really help you, right? But my personal experience in all these things has been like, you know, uh, somewhere always Gurudev is there all the time, right? So I want to tell you a small story of Lord Krishna. Once Lord Krishna sat down to have dinner, and his wife was serving him food, and he was just about to eat, and suddenly he kept the food down and started walking towards the door. And his wife could not understand. Okay, why is he suddenly walking in the middle of the dinner? So he stopped, he turned back and came down and sat and started eating. So his wife asked him, okay, why did you first stop eating, go out, and why did you come back halfway? He said, a devotee was in dire need of help, so that's why I have to leave immediately. Then she asked him, then why did you come back? So he said, because, suddenly he decided, he can take care of it himself. So I came back. So he didn't need me. Right? So the divine is always there. So, so all we need to do is, Gurudev says three things. One is, Mala Vikshepa Avarana. Mala is that impurities. So we put the effort to purify ourselves of the body, the mind. Now, how do you purify the body and mind? Through our practices, through wisdom, all these things which we have been doing. Vikshepa is nothing but the restlessness. Right? So if you see, we get restless. Our what we want to do is not happening, or there's some problems, obstacles that is coming. So we get restless. How do I tackle it? How do I tackle it? Right? So this is the second part of it. So these two things we need to put effort. Whatever works for you, whether it is sadhana, whether it's seva, satsang, whatever works for you, you do it. And the third part is avarana. There's a covering that is hiding the light. And that's what even Yoga Sutra says, misery in life is because we have moved away from our true self. We start associating ourselves with what we are not. So we think we are our emotions, we think it's the pain we are going through, we think the situation around is you. We have forgotten our true nature, right? So because of the covering. So how do we remove the covering? That's where grace comes in. So it's a combination of effort and grace. And this is exactly what even Yoga Vashishta says, right? Grace can work only if you put effort. But will effort alone give you fruits? No, you need grace also. It's like you need both, right? It's like keeping the window open and waiting for the sun. So let the sun shine whenever it wants to. You keep dancing, enjoying life until then, right? But the most unfortunate thing is the sun is shining bright, but the windows are closed, right? So my thing has been, my experience has been, on the path, it has not been easy. In the sense, my concepts have been challenged. My ideas about life has been challenged at every step. But Gurudev says the job of a guru is not to give you a solution, but to create more confusion. Right? Because after every confusion, the confusion ends, you come out wiser. Right? It's like a butterfly coming out of the cocoon. Right? So you break, your older concepts break, and you come out with more wisdom. Right? So my experience has been this: just keep moving. There's this beautiful poem. I don't know how many of you have read this about by Gurudev. Don't move an inch. Has anybody read that poem? Right? Whatever happens, right? You be like a warrior. This I've learned from my other mentor, Akash Bhaiya. He always says, like, be like a warrior, wear all your armor, stand, whatever comes at you, take it. So is this what you can throw at me at life? You face it like a warrior. That is a yogi. Yogi is not like, oh, I'm a doormat, such a nice person, please walk all over me. No, you stand there like a warrior. Face every challenge with a smile and keep moving forward. And that's what the wisdom gives us, the strength to be a warrior. Right? A warrior who faces, doesn't run back, turn your back, but keep moving forward. Because on the other side of the mountain, there is a beautiful sunshine. Right? So we keep moving, moving, keep moving, keep moving. But being anchored in yourself. Right? It's both here. Keep moving forward, but totally anchored in yourself. What do you say, Didi?
Yes. So when people ask me that, what are the ways to overcome obstacle, I always say the 5 points of happiness course. The Art of Living Happiness course has all the wisdom that is required to one, beautifully live your life. Two, whenever you're faced with challenges and problems, there is a solution in the very first Art of Living course, hidden in these few beautiful knowledge, wisdom, pearls that have Gurudev has shared with us. So I always suggest to all my students, whenever you feel that you have reached a dead end, and that can be any kinds, not just in the physical world, even in your sadhana. Sometimes we are practicing regularly, but then we feel that, oh, I don't feel any progress, even though every day I'm practicing, I'm rolling and tossing every morning on the yoga mat. But still I feel that where I should have been, I'm not there. These are all the things that our mind will keep creating from time to time. I always suggest to people, go back to the Art of Living first step. Repeat the Art of Living Happiness course all over again. And this time you will get your answer. And when it happens again, you go back. And this time you will get an answer. The same course point or the same process of the course will hit you differently. Now, why is that course point hitting you differently? Is because you are a different person from when you did that course last time to now. you have evolved as a sadhak, and your understanding of the same conversation that is happening on the course has changed. Now you understand or absorb that knowledge very differently. And when you have been practicing and been on this path and have been meditating, having regular introspections, sessions of silence with yourself for many years, now when you'll go and sit on the happiness course will make absolutely very, very different sense to you. It will sound like the highest different wisdom that you had never heard before. So my go-to always is go back, sit in the happiness course. As my Mayur Bhaiya said, Soham. Soham is the first step. Every obstacle gets taken care of by your happiness course. Repeat it as many times as you can. Then, of course, he said, so what? In a sadhak's life, in anybody's life, the biggest tool is vairagya, the dispassion. Even in Bhagavad Gita, there is so much discussion about nishkama karma, doing everything without worrying about the fruit of that action. Now, on the path of spirituality or as a yoga teacher or yoga trainer, we do sometimes get caught up in a lot of doerships and also internal competitions. I'm not that good, this person is better. Or oh, look how well I'm doing, or look at my body, I'm so fit, you're not. I don't know, there's so many things that we get caught up with. That's how mind is. And I don't blame it, that's mind's job. It has to keep us engaged and involved in the world outside. And our job is to again and again pull it back and take it inwards. That's our job. So vairagya or dispassion or nishkama karma, all these beautiful concepts of yoga are there to anchor us, to hook us in the present moment and in this understanding that I can do whatever I can, but yet there are so many forces in this universe that will affect the outcome of what I'm doing. So it also relieves you of guilt of not having achieved enough on one side. On the other side, it keeps you light, takes off that burden from your shoulder as if you are holding the world up. Because most of the time we are burdened with this idea that I am the one holding this world up. It just takes that
Kamlesh,
off and you feel light and yogic. Finished.
Kamlesh, sorry, I need to somehow, sorry, ask you a few more things before our time runs out. I wanted to ask you something, like practically, how has teaching yoga and the practicing yoga in your life helped you, like personally, professionally, spiritually, overcome obstacles and grow? Like you and Mayur, if you can share, how has teaching and practicing yoga has helped you in this, to like in life, in all the aspects of life? It would be great if you can both share quickly.
Tara, I think that's what we've been sharing. That's exactly what we've been
Yes,
sharing. So
yes,
when what do you do? What do you do? In yoga, you take care of your mind, you take care of your body, you take care of your inner environment. You take care. You process your thoughts differently. You start training your mind to be able to see the real from unreal. You start training your body to listen to your mind. These are the things that you do in yoga is not just doing stretching your legs on a yoga mat or holding your nose all day and keep breathing from right nostril and then breathing out from left nostril. No, it's a continuous training of how to enrich your presence on this planet. Every moment that you are on this planet, you're just being here on this planet should enrich the environment around you, situation around you, people around you. Even animals should feel happy in your presence. That is the yogic way of life. So continuously practicing to be that is what you do. Yeah. And how has it helped us? It has helped not just us, it has helped so many people around us Because, when I'm able to take care of my mind, I'm not throwing my emotional garbage on people around me. It has helped not just immediate people around me, then they have learned and then they have gone and taught. So you're just, creating a better, more aware, more peaceful, more compassionate society, a happier society. And personally, it's taught me that this whole world is your family. You can meet a stranger on a train, or you can be in the darkest tunnel. You will always have help. You will always have people coming and supporting you and loving you. That's how I have been. People come and tell me, oh, you've been alone in so many places. Has anything ever happened? No. That's what yoga does. When you start practicing yoga, when you start living the ideas of yoga, when you are established in non-violence, violence ceases to exist around you. When you are established in truth, whatever you speak from your mouth gets manifested. So these are, there are so many benefits of practicing and living a yogi's life. For that, you have to come and do a 25 to 30 days teacher's training with me. I cannot tell you everything in this small talk.
Then it would be great if you can share what are the changes you have seen in people on the first day of the training. Now you mentioned the training, and then on the last day of the training. Most of them you already shared, of course, but maybe summarize what is it
Mayur
you
Bhaiya
see?
will tell you this because he is
Yeah,
training more
thank
than I
you.
am.
One of the things that I have heard from almost everybody who has done the training, Shishi School of Yoga teacher training, which is 200 hours, whether it's the online format or the in-person format, which is 21 days in person and 8 weeks online format, that this was the best experience of my life. I would never get back this 21 days again because it is so precious, so beautiful, because they open up so much, right? They come with such close concepts in mind, like the belongingness just like floods open and they're full of joy, and all those knots that are stuck, they're not letting them fully blossom, right? Or even smile from the heart, all those things open up. This has been a beautiful experience, and so many people who come just for their own own experience of getting the discipline in life, just to experience, go in the depth of yoga, not necessarily they want to teach. It's not only the teacher. People think the teacher training program is only if I want to become a teacher. No. Even if you want to get into the discipline of yoga, want to go deeper, understand yourself better, that me time we've been talking about, right? Oh, I want a time where nobody disturbs me. I'm just spending time with myself. And that's this 21 days. People who are looking even to go within, deep within, this is a beautiful, beautiful program to, go dive deep into. But, there's one thing I wanted to share. Uh, there is something called as the learning pyramid. See, the beauty about teaching yoga is it's not just you're sharing something with others, but every time you're teaching something, you're reminding yourself of the wisdom. So if you want to really face challenge, get rid of the obstacles from your life, you need to live the wisdom. So there's something called as the learning pyramid. So it says that if you really want to remember something, if you read about it, you remember 10% of it. But if you hear about it, listen to it, you remember 20% of it. And if you see it, you remember 30% of it. And if you discuss about it, participate, you talk about it, then you remember 50% of it. But if you practice it, you remember 75% of it. But when you teach it to others, you remember 90% of it. Right? So being a teacher is, it's not just sharing with others. Of course, I still remember it's all about like, hey, what can you give me? Moving from there to, hey, how can I be of help to you? That is the beautiful transformation of a teacher, right? But it is also impacting us. All the wisdom that we've been talking, delivering, we imbibe that in our life. So that's the beauty, right? You're helping others at the same time, we are growing ourselves. And that's the beauty of doing this teacher training course. So I wish that, whenever you get a chance, don't wait for chance, right? You make the move. Okay, this is the thing. So I will move towards it. Because if you keep waiting, okay, one day I'll wake up and in the skies, all the clouds will form. Hey, this is your time has come. That's not going to happen, right? So we have to take the move because this is going to impact our life. And we want to be happy, we want to be healthy, and we want to help others. What can be better than that? Being a teacher is what? It's a fortunate thing that Gurudev has given us this opportunity. See, if not, today only we were talking, if not for Gurudev, where would we be? This knowledge would not even have come to us. So luckily, we are walking this time along with Gurudev, right? So we should all come together and take this opportunity to bring this huge revolution of smiles and happiness to the world. Right? Do you agree? Yes.
Yes, definitely. That is the most special thing we can do on this planet. And now I think is the right time to introduce to our guests on the session that you and Kamlesh are personally coming soon for the next TTC that is starting October 24th, and you teach 10 days live in our German ashram in Bad Antogast from 1st to 11th December. And this is a very beautiful opportunity for us to be in your presence, to learn from your life in this, I don't know, 40, 50 minutes. We learn so much. Can you imagine spending 10 days live with Kamlesh and Mayur? That would be astonishing, amazing opportunity for us.
Live
And
session,
maybe,
live online sessions, not live there. That's not confirmed yet, but live online sessions.
okay. Okay, the live sessions then on October 1st, on October
Right.
24th, November 7th, right? These dates, November 14th, November 21st, and November 28th, we'll have the opportunity to be with Mayur and Kamlesh. And yes, this is Abhinav is showing us the website where we have all the information. And as Mayur said, don't wait for an opportunity. For me, it took about 7, 8 years to go to this training, and really, this was one of my best experience in life. And I wished I did it sooner, but it was when it was.
I want to share something here because how I did my Shish Yoga teacher training program because it was my brother's wedding. And my brother's wedding was on the same day when the teacher training program started. So Kashi Bhaiya was my teacher, and I messaged Kashi Bhaiya, Kashi Bhaiya, is it okay if I come one day late but I will come at morning 5 o'clock, join the sadhana because I know the TTC has started, but I've been waiting for so long because Gurudev had told to do it. So Kashi Bhaiya did not reply. So my brother's wedding got over in the morning and afternoon I left. Okay, if he doesn't reply, it's okay. It doesn't matter. I will just go stand outside the hall and let me see if he takes me in. So I got my friends. My friend was driving. I got like, can you drop me to Bangalore? So at night 1 o'clock, the car broke down and like I didn't know what to do. And like I got into a bus that was just going there. Said, can you please stop, drop me? And I 5 o'clock morning, 5:30 morning session started, and 5:20 I was standing outside. Kashi Bhai was taking the people for walk, and I just smiled at Kashi Bhai, and he smiled back, and he didn't say anything. And I started walking along the group and entered into the TTC. I was so determined that I have to do this, and I tell you that decision was worth it. And I went back home after the TTC got over. I went to my brother and said, like, okay, now I'm going to spend 1 week time with you. But you make the decision, and tell you this universe will change your life.
Yes, and it's true. Sometimes obstacles might come before you start the training, but this is the sweetest when you started and you went through something that was your little test to make you even more convinced to do it. What else I wanted to
And
say?
the Shish Yoga TTC is
Yes.
the entire curriculum is designed under Gurudev's personal guidance. So, this is one of the most immersive experience that a spiritual seeker can have. When we were designing this online program, I had such strong doubts on because I'm this very rigid in-person training person, old school. These Mayur and all, they are technology and all this, they understand. for me, it was like, no, there's no personal connection. If I cannot hug my student, if I cannot hold my student's hand and, feel the the energy and vibe, I don't think I can really, transmit my learning experience and joy with that person. So I was very rigid. But Gurudev, when he said that we must make it online, a lot of people around the world are going through not a good time mentally. We have to reach this knowledge to them. And we started preparing this program. Of course, at each step, we took guidance from Gurudev. So this is that authentic, pure yoga knowledge from a spiritual master, directly coming from spiritual master and his guidance. And I tell you, the first online course that we had, people wrote to me long letters saying that, for past 20 days, we felt, Kamlesh Didi, we were all living together in the same house. I have not heard such experiences from even those people who actually were living in the same, center and ashram during the courses. But the online people, they said, we felt that we were all teachers and students in the same room. We were all living in the same house, living a very yogic life. It was very beautiful. So there is immense grace behind this teacher's training course. Now, the special part, which I think Sarah and everybody has forgotten to mention, is that I have not been teaching yoga TTCs for a very long time. But this one, I'm going to come and give special sessions on. So this batch must be very special. If you miss it, I don't get to meet you. So you better register quickly, no matter your brother or sister, whoever is getting married. I will see you on this course.
Yes, yes, Kamlesh, I did forget to mention it because you are on our platform and I see you on our videos and I feel very much connected to you every time we have a batch coming and you're teaching us, even though you're not physically there. But yes, definitely having you on the Zoom live sessions would be the best experience for sure. Yeah, I wanted to also mention that actually we have special prizes for Art of Living teachers and students for the TTC. And that's really helpful and lovely to have as an opportunity. And another beautiful thing is we will have complimentary knowledge session on Patanjali Yoga Sutras. You know, Patanjali is the father of yoga according to our scripts. So 10 knowledge videos from 23rd of July to 2nd of August. So everyone who would like to join we would be very happy to have you. Swami Divyatej is going to lead these sessions. Swami Divyatej, would you like to say something? Are you here?
I'm here, but yeah, these are knowledge sessions. We listen to Gurudev, and then in the end of the session, we can have a discussion. So you can watch the videos live.
Sorry, my mic was off. It was really lovely to be together. I don't think we have much more time to spend together today, but definitely we will get in touch with everyone interested in the training. Please write your contacts in the chat. We have the chat here. And also we have sent many links of our website, information about the training, and yes, some WhatsApp group where you can find more information about the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, which will have 2 dates for it. So please be in touch with us and we'll be more than happy to support you. Go through this training in the best possible way. It's the most beautiful experience in my recent years. Anyone wants to share something else? Mayurji, some goodbye words from you and Kamlesh.
Yes, see you all in the TTC.
I wanted to mention all the translators. Thank you so much for doing this for us. All the people who are translating on this. Thank you.
Yes.
A lot of blessing to all of you. We'll all meet on the teachers training course. It's good. All of you join and we'll have a good time, good sangha. What is most important today in today's world really doesn't matter. All this knowledge can be very fancy sometimes, but what is most important is having a good company, good sangha. We'll all get together, we'll share some things, we'll listen to you, you listen to us. It'll be a good sangha. And then sometime you can come to India to me and Mayur. You can go to Mayur to Bangalore ashram, or you can come to me in the north to the Himalayan ashram with Swami Divyateji. He's the one who invited me on this program. Thank you, Swamiji. He's such a sweetheart. Jai
Thank you
Gurudev
so much,
Sahib.
Swamiji, for having me also here. And thank you, everyone. It was so wonderful
Thank
being here with you.
Thanks to both of you. Thanks a lot. Thanks a ton. Because yeah, I know that Kamlesh has not been teaching for some time, but we want you to come back and start again from here. And of course, Mayur as well. So thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Swamiji. Thank you
Blessings
so
to
much for.
everyone. Have a beautiful good night sleep.
Thank you everyone for being here, Mayur, Kamlesh, and Swamiji. It was lovely to have this beautiful session with such deep knowledge and deep understanding about how to manage obstacles. You gave us such profound knowledge. And very nice stories also. Thank you so much.
Check.
Thank you, tech team.
Yes, of course, Manisha, Navina. Thank you, and the
Everyone,
translators.
Manish, Abhinav, Sarah. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I can actually stay back and share some information with anyone who is having some questions at this moment.